Domestic violence affects women and children greatly. The effects that it has on a mom's ability to parent or bond with her children, or even just be a person that the kids feel like is a nurturing person and not being blamed for all the abuse that's happening, that it's her fault. Being able to put a family in a room together sometimes is a challenge all by itself, to even get them all in a room where they're going to feel safe and comfortable together. And then to address safety on top of that can be really challenging.
While I do believe that we live in a world where people are maybe starting to get how really crummy domestic violence is, there's so much more information that we need to put out there. And I think that the family safety planning research study is really, really important to do that.
By family safety planning, we're talking about working with kids who've witnessed or experienced domestic violence and the non-offending parent. So for us, it was usually mom. And it was meeting with them together as a family to figure out what techniques they already knew in regards to safety and what things maybe we could improve on to try and reduce their risk of harm.
I think the family safety planning study was a great example of the kind of social action research, community-based research that the Research Consortium on Gender-Based Violence does, because it started when the director of Turning Point and I went to a conference in California. And she went to this presentation on family safety planning being used, and she got really excited about doing it. And I was able to tell her that it was being done a little bit in Pennsylvania and Minnesota, but nobody had been evaluating it or had an idea of whether it was working.
Then the staff here really, I would say, took up the cause and basically said, this is something that we need to do in the best interest of survivors and et cetera, empowerment.
And when I started talking about it with grad students here, Katie Gregory just jumped on the idea and really ended up taking it off with it and making it her own.
One of the main reasons that I got excited about doing the family safety planning study was because I had the opportunity to collaborate with a community organization from the start to the finish on the project. So I was involved right from the beginning, talking about what they wanted the project to look like, what they wanted the intervention to look like. I worked with the organization right from the beginning to talk about how we would interview women and children, what was the appropriate way to interview them, and what we wanted to learn and how we would do analysis.
The project wouldn't have happened without the collaboration, so it was a very important piece.
When families leave here, we always sat down and talked a little bit with the kids about, well, what can you do in case the violence happens again? But when the research came in, we were able to expand that by leaps and bounds. Now staff are all on the same page, doing the same kind of safety planning.
We're hoping to have a manual published very quickly here about how to do the sessions. The goal is any service provider that would work with domestic violence families can pick this up and read it and be able to help a family that's going through domestic violence.
And we are also working on a couple of different articles to get the information out to the broader community so people can learn about family safety planning and be able to implement it in their own programs.
We didn't have the time to sit down and really go, why is this working? And we weren't able to objectively ask our survivors, how is it working? And so this allowed time and space to do that. We were able to grow.